and welcome back to the TVcast, the show where we talk about TV shows and streaming shows. We don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And today we are back again to talk about the third episode of The Penguin, even though we didn't really care that much for the last episode. But hey, we thought we should at least watch this one, see what we thought, and we'll give our thoughts on it, I suppose. I'll say this though, to spoil the discussion, I think I'm done.
Oh yeah, I'm done.
This was better than the last episode.
Yes.
But I mean, most episodes of TV I've ever watched was better than the last episode. I don't know what it was. Yeah. It was so bad. Like story-wise, writing was terrible. But like we said,
I felt like so far the first 3 episodes could have been one episode.
Yes, because they're
this
all...
one ended where the first should have ended, going like, okay, so they're actually going somewhere.
Yeah.
Now they wasted half of the season introducing what they're supposed to do for the rest of the season. It's like, but there's nothing left.
Yeah, we finally got some backstory on Victor.
Which is my absolute favorite part about this episode.
Yeah.
Those first, what was it, 5-10 minutes?
Which takes place during the first, or the Batman movie. During
exactly.
And the terrorist attack.
That was the best part of this entire episode.
Yeah, sure.
After that, I just went,
Yeah, but they were actually moving forward here. They were doing stuff.
Sure.
They finally blackmailed VD, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like stuff he was talking about doing in the first episode. Like finally they're doing it. And Colin Farrell, great as always. Still feels like a cartoon character inside of a real show, so to speak. Even though he's giving the best performance in the show, I think.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Victor. What's the guy's name? Who plays Victor?
Renzi Feliz.
He's a bit of a wet blanket.
Yeah.
Both the character and him, I would say.
I mean, this is the first time he had anything to do with anything, really.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't have enough space to do anything either.
No.
I'm not sure he could. Like, I don't know who he is. I don't know his performance record.
And they also managed to introduce that he has, like, PTSD from a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
Which hasn't afflicted him yet until now. It's like, oh.
I didn't consider that. I mean, I considered that could be the reason why he was stuttering.
But he was stuttering before that, yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know what they were going for there, really.
Yeah.
The PTSD seemed very random all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not like he hasn't been in Shining Lights before.
Maybe, yeah, or like under high stress.
Yeah.
Maybe this was the first time it happened. I don't know, but yeah.
I feel like he's been in that situation with the Penguin earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Now they finally got to the new drug that's gonna take over the city, and they're doing deals and everything, and they're hinting at that maybe Sophia isn't that psycho killer or something. She
they made it sound like she was a scapegoat.
Like, oh, okay.
Maybe it was her family, her brother, her father, or something.
I don't know. And you know what? I'll never find out, because even though this episode was better than the last one, I don't care.
No,
I don't care. I kept thinking like they're connecting this to a big tentpole action movie from a couple of years ago, Batman, which is also like. Do you remember the Batman? Nobody talks about that movie anymore.
No, it was the talk of the town for like a couple of weeks, and then it just vanished.
And even now that the Penguin, no one talks about the Penguin either.
No.
This might be, no, I'm sure there's been a bunch of other shows, but I think it's the first time I'm recognizing it or noticing it. This is the first time like prestige television is just not popular.
Yeah.
Like this should be on everyone's like channel on YouTube talking about, oh my god, it's a new DC, you know, the cool part of DC, you know, the Pattinson Batman, the Matt Reeves universe. And we have Academy Award nominated actor Colin Farrell acting his ass off in what, you know, a real HBO show, not a Max show. This is an HBO show. And it's a big fucking
Look, I even YouTubed like reactions and reviews, and I recognize about 2 of the channels.
Yeah,
that have covered like the first episode.
There's a lot of smaller channels maybe that cover them. That's what I noticed last time. But it's just, it feels like it's fallen under the radar.
Yeah,
it's weird. Also because they haven't.
No, it's actually not weird because you know it's not up to standard.
Yeah, which is once again so weird to say because it is so well made.
Yeah.
And the writing is better in this episode. It's not great, but it's better.
Sure.
It's all
like you said, there's still something still a little bit off. They're going too slow through everything.
Yeah.
We're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, this really feels like it should have been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
It could have been done by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well,
so you know what we're gonna do?
I don't really have much else to say. Yeah.
No, exactly. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about something else.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about those shows that we decided we were supposed to talk about before we realized The Penguin came out.
Oh, Avatar and Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. There we go. I changed the background.
Hey!
We're going to talk about Avatar first, I suppose.
Yes, because I feel like that one's less... There's less to talk about, because it was more of a random pick from me.
Yeah.
Than something I was passionate about. I just really wanted you to see it, because you hadn't.
No. I knew of it, and I was like, what? Kids, baby shows? No, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, but it's such a fun kid show, though.
Sure. Yeah, I watched the first 5 episodes.
Good.
In almost one sitting, because they're so short.
Yeah, they're like, what, 23 minutes or something?
Minutes. Yeah. Classic. 22 minutes, 24 episodes. Perfect. That's what TV should be. And each episode, you know what? Each episode is its own little adventure, but it's building up to something. And they move forward all the time. Yeah. So you want to ask me?
So what did you think of it?
Yeah. I thought, at least the first 5 episodes, as an introduction to the show.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty good. It's silly, but it's and it has that anime problem where most of it is just like a fourth of the episode takes up of one action scene.
Yeah.
And then it feels like they're like rushing through the rest. But the characters are fun. I think Aang as not the protagonist, but as the I guess hero of the show.
Yeah,
it's interesting that he has a lot of responsibility. Not that he not really yet, but obviously he is the one who's supposed to like bring peace back to the world or whatever.
Yeah,
he doesn't really get it yet. It starts to like dawn on him in the 5th episode, I think, or the 4th episode, which was what was the name? I had it up here.
Oh, the King of Amashu.
No. The episode before that, the Warriors of Kyoshi.
Warriors of Kyoshi, yeah.
A little bit in Avatar Returns, when the Fire Nation attacks Sokka and Katara's
the
village, but more in Warriors of Kyoshi.
South Pole?
Yes, South Pole. When they attack that village, and it's like, oh, this is my fault. I have to do something about this.
Yeah,
you know, that thing. But then, and he's kind of rediscovering the world, and he's growing as a character. As is Sokka. Katara, maybe not so much.
I can tell you this much. That comes later in the show.
Okay,
a little bit, because she's already so grown up that she doesn't really have time to grow up more yet.
she is I'm not gonna call her the Mary Sue, but she's the one who has to like kind of carry the other characters, so to speak. So she has to be more
she's the responsible one.
Yes, exactly. So there's not much growing needed there yet.
No, but it definitely comes. I'll tell you that. Because over the 3 seasons, all of them grow a lot.
Yeah. No, it's...
I have watched it all. It's been a while, though, but I've seen it all.
Yeah. No, it was fun. Like I said, I like that every episode is its own adventure.
Yeah.
It's does it, because from what I understand, because I talked about this with a friend of mine at work, who's like, "Oh my god, yes, you have to watch that show." When I mentioned this this idea for the podcast, and I told me I at that point I'd watched the first 3 episodes in one sitting. And I saw the first 3 episodes, and it's kind of it's baby movie stuff, but it's still fun. I can see like kids really enjoying this, and he mentioned that it gets more like grown up adult, so to speak, in the later seasons. Even though I thought there was more than 3 seasons, but I guess there isn't.
No, they're just kind of long because they're like 20 plus episodes in each season.
Yeah, there's first season is 20 episodes. Second is 20 as well. Okay, so 60
or maybe
episodes.
Maybe there's 20 in each then.
And then it gets more involved in the later seasons. Is there any did they do any movies or spin-off? I mean, there's the Legend of Korra, but other than that,
I don't think so. I think the next sequel, so to speak, is Legend of Korra, which takes place
isn't it before?
No, it's after.
Oh, okay.
She's the next Avatar, I think.
Oh, okay,
if I'm not misremembering.
And that one I remember a lot of people didn't like a lot of Avatar
because it didn't have
purists.
the same feel to it.
Okay.
I didn't watch that properly because I agree. I watched the first few episodes and went like, it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like a Katara show. Because they're kind of similar the way I remember them. And she's not as fun to have as the main character.
All I know about that show is from this YouTuber, I guess he's technically still active, called E:R, who does a lot of reviews of TV shows and movies. And he's very edgy. His humor is very, very edgy to the point where I'm like, are you actually racist? Yeah, it's weird. He has a whole series where he reviews The Legend of Korra called Legend of Horror, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he likes to, when he talked about Star Wars, J.J. Abrams was called Juju Abrams. Yeah, stuff like that. It's like, that's funny, but then there's stuff that's wait a minute.
There's a point?
I don't know, dude. I don't know about you. You're funny, but some of the stuff you say, yikes. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and he did not like Legend of Korra at all.
No, it didn't feel the same. And I think that's why that one wasn't as long, I think. They kind of gave up on it.
Yeah.
Which is the same issue we had with the live action movie that was made. It just didn't have the same feeling to it.
No, it bombed horribly.
Oh yes, and I completely understand why.
I've seen one scene of that, and I had no idea I don't even think I knew what the TV show was back then. And I saw one scene and it was like, what is this garbage? Turn it off, basically. And I left the room because I wasn't watching it. But
I couldn't finish it. I think I saw the first 20 minutes and it went, I can't do this. It's impossible. I can't. Even the same with, didn't Netflix do a live action show?
Yeah, recently.
Now?
This year or last year, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I could finish that one either. And I don't think they got very far with it.
No.
It's got 8 episodes.
So probably retelling the first season?
No. You know what? It's official. Season 2 and 3 are coming.
Okay. All right. I heard initially good things about that, but then they're also
the show was better than the movie.
Avatar.
Yeah, there's still some things that are very off, but the show was definitely better than the live action movie.
Sure. I would.
They did some things better.
I would.
But
yes.
The casting is still a bit off. I don't know.
Right.
They're moving kind of quickly through. It's similar episodes, but they're moving quicker through them because there's less episodes.
But they're longer. Are they 40 minutes? Or
they're about
minutes?
twice as long. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But you were at episode 4 with the Warriors of Kyoshi.
Yeah, but I saw 5 as well.
Yeah, but They are in episode 2 of the live action version.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
yeah, so they're moving much quicker.
Maybe that's good.
To get to certain things, obviously, and focusing on certain points that are more interesting to do and more easier to do, I guess, live action.
Yeah.
I don't remember how they figured out the flying bison.
It's CGI.
Probably.
Obviously.
Well, yes. Obviously.
No, they actually made a flying bison.
Yeah, they bred him and like.
No, they put some fur on a drone. And then they said,
giant drone.
Come on, kids, hop on. It's not dangerous. No. I don't really have much more to say about the show.
No, there's not much more to say. I just really wanted to make sure that you actually watched a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's one of those shows that are, or used to be when I was a little bit younger, really like a comfort show. You could just watch it whenever. It didn't really matter.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if you don't finish it either because, whatever. You've seen some of the episodes. That's all you need.
Yeah. It's a classic kids show.
Yeah.
Where you can really just tune into any episode and you just need to know that they're on a mission to get to this place, and along the way they have some adventures, and you'll catch one adventure here or there,
They even pointed out in, was it the first or second episode, before we leave, before we get to the North Pole, we're gonna do this, and this, because he's like a kid who's missed 100 years of his life.
Yeah.
I need to catch up. I need to meet all my friends.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, in the 90s, the TV shows were even less structured. Sometimes they didn't even have a backstory. It was just, the intro was the backstory, which this also kind of is. And then it was just, it kind of started in the middle, so to speak. They're on their way already. Usually because back then pilots were never shown. Pilots were shown once, and then they were never part of the actual they usually call it the unaired pilot when it was released on DVD or something like that.
Looking at IMDb, this one has that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's episode 0.
Yeah.
Where Sokka and his sister Kaya, later renamed Katara, must travel the world to find masters for Aang, who is the Avatar.
Yeah. And then episode 1 kind of retells that story, but it was, remade a little bit.
Yeah. And probably, they removed some things that could come later in the season instead.
Yes. Classic example of that is Pirates in Dark Waters. Do you remember that show? I mean, it was made when I was 3, so I probably saw it when I was 5 or 6. No, yeah.
Pirates in Dark Waters.
Yeah. It's about a prince who has to find 7 things to make, because the water, they live on a water planet. And I mean, there's land too, but most water. And the water is infected by some black goo, and he has to find 7 things to stop it from happening, and there's pirates chasing him and stuff.
The style makes me think of He-Man, Savior of the World.
Yeah. Masters of the Universe.
Sorry, yeah.
And that show just starts in the middle, and it was a pretty expensive show because there was a lot of animation stuff going on. It was very involved. So they made 1 season, which ended on a big cliffhanger, and they were like, it's just too expensive. Not enough people are watching it.
No one's gonna care.
We're never gonna finish it, and they never finished it. But it's a kid's show, so who gives a fuck,
Exactly.
They just ran those, 30, 40 episodes over and over again. And kids were like, yay! This has that feel. You can just watch an episode and have fun with it.
Yeah.
You might miss some details. If you jump in later in the seasons, you or you watched an early episode where Zuko is a bad guy. I know later he joins the group.
Yeah, he
might
understands
be huh?
the issues.
But, whatever,
Yeah, all you need to know is, obviously he turned. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a new bad guy. Okay.
Yeah. You don't need more than that.
No.
And I like that simplicity.
Yes, which is why I wanted you to see it.
Yeah. I, of course, we talked about, I like complex stuff that challenges me as well.
Sure.
But
sometimes.
Yeah, but when I know it's a kid's show, I'm fine with it being simple.
Exactly. Then it's even more forgivable.
Yeah. That's why I just have to mention Marvel. That's why Marvel should have been for kids. They shouldn't have been $200 million dark serious movies. This is bullshit. It's cartoons. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Make it fun instead.
I mean, it's literally comic books, and they're all colorful and wham, kablam.
Yeah. And we all know the comic books were just big ads for bubblegum and candy originally.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep lore. Suck my farts. Anyway.
Anywho. This is not a show that we would ever do like a full episode on watching all of it, because it's I mean, we could, but it's not that interesting to talk about. There's definitely, if you want to like overanalyze it, there's so much you could. But
I'm sure there is.
I don't feel the need to, because it is a kid's show. Everyone should just know about it. That's about it.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch it once.
Of course.
Just because.
Of course, we did a poll before where really the only we got was, you should keep doing the Penguin. I was like, but we'll do one after this episode. I'll do another poll and we'll do it proper and on. So, I'll remove the Penguin because that's it. We're done with Penguin.
Yeah, we're not doing the Penguin. Sorry.
But hey, if people want us to talk about it, we'll keep talking about it, of course.
If the patrons tell us to, I guess.
That too, yeah. But should we move on to my recommendation?
Yes, to your pick.
I haven't really asked you, but I've hinted at it for a long, long time. But it wasn't done until this year. I was like, you should watch Star Trek, and I was trying to find a way to
make you do
it. Yeah, and I was like, well, we have a whole podcast dedicated to TV shows.
Yeah.
We should do, or I should make you watch Star Trek.
And you did.
I did. Now, once again, because it's that even more than something like Avatar, it's just every episode is its own story.
Yeah.
There is no red thread going through the show at all. There are recurring characters, like the Klingons are introduced and then they become like...
Yes.
They become main villains later, really. Romulans, Klingons, whatever.
Yeah.
And like characters like Harry Mudd keep appearing, and he's in like three episodes or stuff like that. But there's not it's not like it's not a beginning, middle, and an end to the show. It's just each episode is a new adventure.
Yeah, and what is it? Each season has a new crew.
No,
not each season,
they add characters.
Right.
Like Scotty, you watched 3 episodes. You watched The Conscience of the King, Space Seed, and The Devil in the Dark? Whatever it's called. Yeah.
I think it was those.
And Scotty, which is like one of the main characters in the movies, he's not really prominently featured until Space Seed. And even after that, he just shows up here and there. He becomes like a mainstay in the 2nd season.
Right.
The same thing with Chekhov. He's not even in season 1, but he is introduced in season 2 as, having been like on the lower decks, and now he's promoted.
Okay, that's why we haven't seen him before.
Exactly. But yeah, Kirk, Spock, Uhura, Bones, those have been in the show from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's really all the background you need. They're out in space. They're sent out by Starfleet, the Federation, to seek out new life and spread their ideas throughout space, not through conquest, but through knowledge, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, basically every episode starts off with them like, responding to a call or something.
Yeah, or we're on a mission to this planet or this colony.
Yeah.
Or we have discovered a signal.
Reason.
Yeah. So should we do it?
It's just a random reason to be at that spot, and then all of a sudden things happen.
Yeah. And if you watched our Megalopolis episode on the spoilerCast, we gave a little bit of a background on the show there. But all you really need to know is that in the 23rd century,
Captain James T. Kirk and the crew of the USS Enterprise explore the galaxy and defend the United Federation of Planets.
Defend, yeah. It's not much defending, really.
No.
It's not really an action-heavy show, which I like. It's a lot more dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean there are definitely
action scenes.
Oh, yeah. And season 2 and 3 definitely bank more on action and adventure.
But they're not like there's not like these like 20-minute long action fight scenes. No. They're more calm action.
Yeah.
That usually end up with a gun pointed at someone and someone talking.
Yeah. But that's the backstory. Humans, after the Third World War, realized that we gotta get our shit together. So they did. They basically created a utopian society where money is not a thing anymore. There's no wars. We ended everything like racism and crime and everything. And like we made it. So now we gotta help the rest of the galaxy to prosper the way we did.
Yeah.
And that's why they lead the Starfleet. The Federation created the Starfleet to send ships out to spread their ideals throughout space. Yeah, in a peaceful way. So,
which you never get to see them be on Earth, do you?
No. There is one. There's like a couple of episodes where they travel back in time to 1960s Earth because they don't want to make futuristic sets for Earth.
No.
So it's easier just, we travel back in time.
Yeah.
Randomly. Oh, we can travel in time now. Okay. Even though that's not really a thing, but sometimes they can.
Why wouldn't that, because that would solve a lot of other problems then, I guess.
Yeah.
You just travel back in time.
Yeah.
I mean, it would solve everything with Khan, basically, if I understood that episode correctly.
Yeah.
They just travel back to before he left and go, hey, hold up.
But that's dangerous, though, which is something they bring up more in later shows, especially Next Generation, that if you start messing with the past, you won't end up in the future you remember. It's the whole...
No, that's
what is
one
it,
of the
grandfather
rules with time
paradox?
traveling.
Yeah. The fact that Khan trying to conquered a lot big parts of Earth is what led to the Great Peace after that was over, after he was stopped. Stuff like that. But we should talk about the episodes specifically, I think.
And I watched.
Or separately, yeah. So the first one you watched, we're going in chronological release order, was The Conscience of the King.
Yes.
Yeah. Where Kirk is called to Tarsis 4? No. No, Tarsis 4 is the planet where he came from. He's called to a planet where an old acquaintance of his thinks he has found Kodos the Executioner, which was the leader of a colony 20 years ago on a planet called Tarsis 4, where Kirk and his friend they witnessed him killing off half of the population of that colony in order for the other half to survive, because their food supply was ravaged by a fungal infection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they assumed Kodos died as well.
Yes. The Federation showed up, or Starfleet showed up, stopped him from doing what he was doing, killing off 4,000 people, or 8,000 people. And yeah, they found his burned remains, but no one actually knew. And now this friend of Kirk thinks he has found Kodos, hiding under the name Caridian something?
Caridian. Being a Shakespeare actor.
Yeah, he's part of a traveling band of actors performing Shakespeare across the galaxy, so to speak.
Yeah. Which... It's a bit of a weird episode to start on because it starts off at a party, basically.
Yeah, no, it starts with the man being stabbed to death. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, but...
And then you're like, oh, it's a play. Oh, okay.
It's a Shakespeare play.
Then
there's a party, and Kirk walks around being all flirty.
Yeah, well, I think it actually... That's Kirk in a nutshell.
Sure.
He is very by the book, but if there's a lady involved, he's like, hey. He's very smooth. Very smooth. But he then has to... His friend is mysteriously found dead after he has... Not publicly, but he's accused this Caridian guy of being Kodos. So now Kirk's like, maybe there was something to this, and he starts investigating. While also falling in love with Caridian's daughter.
Yeah.
Lenore Caridian. So, what did you think of that one? Your first ever full watch of a Star Trek episode.
It was fine. It was a weird episode in my opinion. Because it didn't feel like Star Trek. Because what do you mean theater people and like just actors? That's weird. That's not Star Trek. I expected what were they called?
More science fiction. Spock.
Yeah, more sci-fi. No, not Spock. The other ones with the wrinkled foreheads. Yeah,
that's Klingons. They weren't really a thing in this show. They showed up a couple of times, later, right? And they didn't even look like that in this show. They were just like actors in brown face with Fu Manchu mustaches. That was it.
Oh God.
Not blackface, brown face.
No, brown is still
less
terrible.
Racist.
What? No, it's not.
I don't know.
No. Star Trek felt like all of the episodes really felt like just another show that I could at least have on in the background kind of thing. I didn't feel like I had to super focus on it, even though I probably should to like get all the details.
Yeah.
But since they talk a lot, so they explain a lot as well.
Yes.
So it's fine if you kind of miss details happening around you.
Sure.
And also, I mean, the sets aren't super exciting. Nothing happens really.
No. This was
on the surface there.
not super cheap, but they got the
Cheap
same
enough.
budget as like any other show, but they had to create like new planets and spaceships and blasters and stuff for the same budget as like, I don't know, All in the Family or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is just regular people in a regular house.
Exactly.
So
Much easier to fix.
And by today's standards, yes, it looks very cheap.
Yes.
I think
I knew that.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of it before, so I knew it would look like this, but it's still going like, ah, shit. This would be cool if it was made now.
Yeah. No, but then what is interesting, especially in an episode like this, is the in this one specifically, like the morality of what Kodos did on Tarsus 4 and how because it turns out, spoilers, Caradian is Kodos.
Yeah. It takes a while, but they figure it out.
Yeah. And they confront him about what he did.
Yeah.
And he sees it as, well, I killed 4,000 people in order to save 4,000 people.
Yeah,
if I didn't do anything, everyone would have died.
Kind of like, I think we mentioned it before, like in Marvel with Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
And I always said
Thanos?
that Thanos isn't really the bad guy when it comes to that part. Because, like, come on.
Yeah.
They didn't suffer, they just disappeared.
Yeah. He turns into a bad guy in Endgame, but in Infinity War, yeah, like
the idea is fine. Like it's a
he's doing
noble idea. He's
it's
doing it in a pretty good way as well. But he should have added like that everyone who stays just don't remember the people that disappeared, because that would have been nicer.
I think it is more. I think it is. I don't think there's a right or a wrong there. That's the thing.
No.
Like killing half of a population is a horrendous, like, it's genocide. It's
obviously.
It's bad.
Yes.
But it's you can see it, and definitely Kodos and Thanos. Kodos sees it as a necessary evil.
Yeah.
And I like that. I can understand why he did it.
Yes.
And I think even Kirk, to some extent, like, understands why he did it. He
can't
justify it, really, yeah. You should have tried everything else before just starting picking random people, like, you die, you live, you die, you live. Even like, well, I picked completely random, like, to not judge anyone. But it's just, you're still killing 4,000 people.
Yeah, and some of them are definitely innocent, while others who survived were probably more justified to kill off.
Sure.
If you want to consider that.
Yeah.
And just to mention Thanos again, then, he, with the power of the glove, could have, just doubled the resources instead.
Yes. Which is an argument has been made, and I'm sure there are thousands of comic book nerds like, well, actually, because of this and this, you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't count the comic books because it's not. I just count the movies. That's the only way I can keep track of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Conscience of the King is an interesting episode. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
but it's not thrilling, really, which is what I expected a little bit.
No. But you get more of that in Space Seed, which is the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Where they discover an old derelict human spaceship from the 1990s. Whoa! The far-off, distant time of 1990s. Which is like when the Third World War, the Eugenics War took place. And on this ship, there is a group of genetically engineered humans. Eugenics, They're
like cryo-frozen, basically.
Yeah.
And luckily, Kirk and his team show up just before the batteries run out.
Yeah. And luckily
so they managed to save, like... Is it just the one?
there's only the one that they revive.
Yeah, but do they save the rest by like putting in new batteries? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I didn't rewatch these. I rewatched Conscience of the King, and today I started watching Spacey. Like, maybe I should rewatch them. I haven't seen them in a while, but I didn't finish it because I had to record.
That's not the exciting part, though. The exciting part is that they reawaken Khan, which is a name that everyone knows, even if you haven't seen.
Yeah, everyone knows from The Wrath of Khan, the second Star Trek movie. But I would say he's an interesting character. Much like in Conscience of the King, he is kind of he has a different view on morality, and like his politics, so to speak, are different. And you don't agree, but you can understand what he's talking about to some extent.
Yes.
And even when he starts pointing out like, oh, you 23rd century pussy men, like in my time we would have like killed you in your infancy. You suck.
Yeah.
And like you think like, oh, there's such a enlightened society. And it's funny that, well, he's genetically engineered, so he is stronger, but it's just like,
yes.
Maybe peace and prosperity has weakened people as well, because he's just easily defeating them when they start fighting. He's like, fuck you, fuck you.
I mean, if you don't have anything to fight, then
yeah,
the evolution will make it so that the humanity is physically weaker because you don't have the reason to be physically strong in the same way.
It's like Bane says, victory has defeated you, Batman. Yeah. It's the same, and it's kind of the same thing here. So they have to figure out another, because he's just like, well, he's designed to conquer. That's the whole thing.
Yes.
Like that's why they threw him out into space, because he was too dangerous. They
made him too good.
Yeah, him and his 80 Napoleons, as they call him. They were too good. So it's like, bye bye, we're gonna freeze you and throw you out into space. When the eugenics war ended. So now he wakes up and he says, well, I'm just going to continue then. You woke me up, that's your problem. And I like, once again, the most exciting part, at least I think, is the conversations between Kirk, or the crew, and Khan, and how they view things so differently.
Yeah.
Which, like good sci-fi, you can really kind of, juxtapose that to, or impose that onto just conversations about well we need war, or other people saying we need peace, that kind of thing, because that's really what it's about. Like, some people say the only way to achieve success or progress is through conquest, while some people think it's through peace and understanding and other scientific progress, stuff like that. It's actually sitting down and talking, not just fighting.
Yes.
I
feel the conversation with Khan is a little bit one-sided because he does not want to listen to them at all. He just goes, you know what? I'm going to lock you all in a room and kill you all one by one.
Yes.
Unless you do what I say and give me your women, because I need someone to procreate with.
Yes. And that's why they ultimately have to sort of physically defeat him, even though they don't kill him. Because, and then you can start discussing the necessity of violence. Mm-hmm. That it's sometimes it is the only way, but we should always strive for something else.
Yeah.
But it's once again,
a genetically enhanced human decides to just not believe your argument at all and just goes, no, I'm stronger, I'm better, bye. Then what are you gonna do?
Or if you have a dictator, like when the United Nations says, you gotta stop killing your people, you stop starving them, nope, no, I refused. And at some point, like, well, we're gonna nuke you then.
Yeah, like how else are we supposed to?
How else are we can't deal with you. At some point, it becomes necessary to use violence. So that's.
But it should be the last outcome.
Of course. And it shouldn't be something you decide so lightly.
No.
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 Which is the difference between Kirk and Khan.
Yes.
And why Kirk ultimately wins. Reason wins in the end. Until he wakes up 20 years later again. Well, they win again then, but and actually kill him. Spoilers for that movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Honestly, I just have someone screaming out "Khan" in my head.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the name Khan. That's all I have. And that's from
Khan!
the movie, yes.
That's from the movie, yeah.
Yeah. But the worst thing is that I see it in the way that the is it
Seinfeld.
No.
Okay, because they do a Khan joke.
Pet Cemetery, when the kid gets hit by the truck and the dad kneels in the road.
No!
I see it that way, but Khan instead.
Well, that is because in the movie, it's a close up of Kirk, and he has his fist up and goes Khan. Just a short Khan that echoes in the out over the zoom out and you see the planet. Okay, but when they reference it in Seinfeld, it is a top down shot of George going Khan.
Okay.
So you are thinking of Seinfeld.
Okay, yeah. It's the combination of it all.
Oh, yes. And then, of course, there's the terrible J.J. Abrams version of it in Into Darkness.
I don't think
when it's Spock that screams. Yeah, we saw it in theaters, Rebecca.
We did?
Into Darkness, yeah, the second of the newer Star Trek movies. We saw it the same day. We did a double feature that day.
Oh,
we saw it the same day as Evil Dead, the remake of Evil Dead.
Which is why I probably blocked that one out, because I liked Evil Dead.
Yeah, because that movie's terrible.
And I didn't like that one.
But then it's Spock screaming, Khan!
Yeah.
It's just so bad. Anyway. Well, but did you like this episode? Did you like Space Seed?
It was okay. I think I liked it the least, but it's only because I really disliked Khan.
Oh, okay.
He was just misogynistic and terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
I just couldn't stand him.
The way he comes on to MacGyver's the historian.
Yeah.
Immediately.
At first, obviously, like smitten a little bit by him, because she is very into history and it's like, oh my god, I can learn so much from him. But then he just turns out to be, I will have my babies with you. And she's like, no, wait. Hold on. That's not what I meant.
You will breed my warriors for me. Wait. Yeah. But then the third episode you watched, which is probably... Yes. I picked these based on like what people say are the best episodes.
Yeah, they're marked top rated on IMDb.
Yeah, and then I kind of singled out my favorites out of those lists. And the third episode you saw, The Devil in the Dark, is probably my favorite episode, maybe of the whole show.
It was definitely my favorite out of these.
Okay, yeah. First and foremost, because it's probably the most like science fiction adventure-y episode.
Yes.
It's a lot of there's different planets, there's spaceships, there's space monsters. So
exactly.
It's more horror. There's more more action, I suppose.
There is more action, but the action is still very slow.
Yeah. Well, that's the entire show. That's the entire show. But it also has out of these moral quandaries, these moral philosophies that they kind of deal with in every episode. I think this one is the most interesting. Because it deals with the fear of the unknown, which we've talked a lot about. I love that, the concept of fear of the unknown. Yeah, because... Wonderful. Yeah, because... what's the plot? I don't have it up.
The Enterprise is sent to a mining colony that is being terrorized by a mysterious monster, only to find that the situation is not that simple.
Exactly. So they have these terrifying monsters creeping around the mines, killing the workers, and like, we have to eradicate them.
Isn't even, like, if I remember correctly now, on, like, the security footage, no one, I don't know if it's security footage or just no one has seen the monster. They just know that something is making these workers, these miners, disappear into thin air, basically.
Yeah. And then when they finally discover it, they realize that it's just an animal, an undiscovered animal that is not, like, hunting down the miners. It's protecting, like, its children. It's a tribe, so to speak. Eggs, yeah.
And, like, even for a specific reason, because they explain in the end of it that this creature it has a cycle of, I don't remember, like 1,000 years or something.
Oh.
Where say 1,000 years then, every single individual except for one dies.
Yeah.
And that one is responsible to re-establish this...
Yeah. I forgot species. About that part. This is the one episode I didn't rewatch at all for this.
Yeah. And these miners are fucking with that cycle.
Yeah, like if
because they found these random, I think it's silicone substances.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're useless, but they're kind of cute. I don't know. We'll keep one around. Turns out that's the eggs. And they've destroyed hundreds of eggs.
Yeah. Which will, if
obviously the creatures like, what the fuck are you doing,
they're
guys?
they're going to eradicate the entire race of this animal
because of their ignorance.
Yes, and fear,
Of course, but like they didn't know about this creature. They didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, but then when
Spock figured it out by talking to it through emotions.
Yes, because they have they can do mind melding.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Asari do in Mass Effect.
In Mass Effect.
Yeah. Embrace eternity. Yeah. I love that they try desperately to explain this to the miners, and eventually like, okay, we understand, like, and also the fact that they then come to a conclusion that, yeah, okay, we'll stop mining. It's not like, well, we have to keep mining. Money needs to be made. The factory needs to know. Okay, we'll leave them alone then.
We'll leave the lower regions alone. We'll go over there and mine instead. And keep from going that far down, because the monster or the creature doesn't live that far, that close to the surface. It's very, very deep, and it only travels to the surface. Yeah, because of the eggs being removed. Basically.
Yeah. So
otherwise, it would have stayed hidden.
Yeah. Once again, adding to this wonderful future where humanity kind of got their wits about them. Like, we don't have to shovel every inch of rainforest. We'll just use whatever we need and leave the rest alone. Like, now of course maybe it's not that simple in reality, but the concept is really that simple.
Yes.
To just have a bit of compassion, even for things you don't really understand. Which also gives us one of the greatest lines in TV history, when I think it's Kirk asks Bones to, like, do they have to, the monster is like wounded, like, you're a doctor, heal it, McCoy. And he's like, what is this? He's I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer, Kirk, or James, whatever he says. Which he says a lot of. I'm a doctor, not a but this, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer, because it's a stone monster.
He does heal it though.
Yeah, he does.
Figures out
He's
that
like,
some sort of silicone mask that they had too much of because of some other mission where they needed it for repairs.
Yeah.
Ended up being the perfect substance to repair this monster.
Yeah.
Creature. I shouldn't say monster because it's not a monster.
It's an animal.
Creature.
Yeah.
Very strange looking glob, but still.
Yeah.
That somehow makes perfectly circular and smooth tunnels.
Yes. Because they...
And can, like, melt the ground somehow with, like, a laser or something. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's some sort of... No, but that's, that's beside the point.
That's sci-fi.
Yeah, that's sci-fi, exactly. We don't understand this animal.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I think that
is... No, I agree. This is the best episode of the 3 I watched. And I almost, if I hadn't been interrupted with, I don't remember what it was, but something, life, I guess, I would have watched a couple more.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just didn't really have time for it because I felt like it was I've been missing having a show that you can have on in the background.
Yeah,
which just keeps going, and it's on an easy streaming platform.
Yeah, and it's not like if you miss a little the detail here, it's not like, oh, I don't understand this in 3 episodes. What's happening here? No, because it's a new adventure. Yeah, exactly.
Also, it's in a language I completely understand, so I can watch it without having to watch it.
Yeah, you need to stop watching all your K-dramas.
But it's fun.
You're watching Days of Our Lives in Korean, Rebecca. It's not...
No.
Yes, you are.
They're more interesting stories.
Oh, sure.
And they're all very... That's the beauty with K-dramas. They're all... Most of them, at least, are like miniseries. So they're like 8 to 12 episodes.
Oh, shit, I forgot to change the background. Oh, whatever.
Oh well. Whatever. So if we're doing one of these again, I am making you watch a K-drama of some sort. I'm not gonna make you watch the entire thing, but I'm gonna make you watch like a few episodes.
Yeah.
Because they're so cute. And if I understood Korean better, I would have them on in the background just because.
Yeah.
They're not that deep. You don't need to understand every single detail.
No, it's a soap opera. Yeah, it's just drama.
Yeah, and it's just romance basically.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Well, there's some fantasy stuff as well, but they're usually more complex.
I think we should start wrapping it up here.
Yes.
So yeah, next episode. Now we don't have a show to follow, so we won't do another episode next week probably. Or did you have anything?
I thought I saw something that came out on. Where was that? I thought I saw something that came up, and maybe I'm misremembering now. Also, I'm kind of wanting to watch that new Roman show, whatever that is called. I don't know where it's streaming though.
For those about to die.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Well, here in Sweden, it's on TV4 Play.
Ah, right.
Yeah, I kind of want to check that out, mainly because you have a bunch of cool actors, and also that it sometimes looks like the most expensive show ever, and then there are some shots that looks incredibly cheap. I just want to know what it actually is.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, what is this? Maybe that. I don't know if I'm going to make an episode about that though. I haven't heard anyone talk about that show.
I can't remember if it was that one or if I was thinking of something else.
Maybe. I don't know if there's something else. I don't know. That's the one I'm thinking of though, because I saw some ads for it before. But I was going to say, so yeah, we won't, and we're not going to make it. We're not going to go through the entire shows of Star Trek or Avatar, but I'll say this: I will probably watch more Avatar. Maybe I won't finish it, but I'll watch more Avatar. And you kind of already answered, but do you want to continue watching Star Trek?
I might, but should I start from the top then? Since I didn't.
Yes.
Right?
You could maybe skip the pilot, the Cage, because that is you don't even that episode doesn't even have Kirk. They have Captain Pike in that episode, and it is even more just people sitting around talking. I mean, it literally takes place in a cage. The entire episode.
Yeah.
Not the entire episode, but a lot of it. And they do kind of, because that was never officially aired on TV and in the 60s.
It's one of those.
Yeah. So they do, however, deal with that story and the fallout from that story, sort of, in a two-parter later in season 1 called The Menagerie, I think. Okay. Or The Corbinite Maneuver? No, The Menagerie, part 1 and 2. So you can skip that and then just get the Cliff's Notes in that episode.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time people saw it talking about Commander Pike and everything, so you can just watch that instead. So you would start with Where No Man Has Gone Before, I think the first episode is called.
Yeah. I had it up, now I lost it.
No, The Man Trap, sorry.
No, Man Trap, yeah.
Right, Dr. McCoy discovered...
No Man Has Gone Before is number 4 then, I guess. 3.
Yes. There's Charlie X and then Where No Man Has Gone Before, right. Yes, you should...
Charlie X. Do you think Charlie XYX, wherever her name is, got her name from there? The music artist.
I don't know. I've never heard that person, so... I know the name, but no, I don't know. Do they have psychic abilities? Are they like a god creature?
No, she's a music producer and artist.
Okay, I don't know.
She did. Did you miss out on Brat Summer? You don't know what that is?
No, I never understood what Brat Summer was.
Oh, okay.
I was more of a white boy summer kind of guy.
All right.
No, but definitely start with Man Trap. It's a good episode. Charlie X is fun as well. Because, Where No Man Has Gone Before is a great episode as well. Naked Time is kind of silly. Enemy Within is fun because, Captain Kirk is kind of split into two. It's like there's a transporter malfunction and there's two Kirks. One is very impulsive and aggressive, while the other one is very meek and terrible.
So they're
two parts of a person.
Dividing his two personalities, basically.
That's a fun episode. Then, however, you have the first episode with Harry Mudd, episode 6, Mudd's Women. I can't stand that episode. I just think the character is more fun in later episodes, but I hate Mudd's Women.
Okay.
And then the episode after that isn't great either. What Our Little Girls Made Of, it's better, but both of those are like cyborg episode. Oh, they've created androids. It's like, whatever. But then Miri, I think Miri is fine. I know a lot of people don't like Miri.
You know what? We don't have to go through these
I do, because it's fun. Then you have Dagger of the Mind, which is a great episode. Episode 9. And then the Corbinite Maneuver. Anyway, yeah. No, yeah.
I'll watch from the second episode.
Yeah, the Man
and
Trap.
We'll
Start with the Man
see
Trap.
how far I go.
And we can from time to time check in on what you think of the episodes.
Yeah,
definitely. And I'll
until
keep
we
watching
find a
Avatar.
specific one.
Yeah. So for next week,
I still think we're doing whenever Ben and Gesserit comes out, we're gonna watch that one.
Yeah,
but it might be a while. I'm not sure.
That's like, isn't that January?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It might be a while.
Yeah. But until then, yeah, we'll do some sporadic checkups.
Yeah.
Or if you watching here on YouTube, listening on whatever platform you're listening to, if you have any ideas, leave a comment. Or if you really want to force us, or if you really want to force us to watch a show, join us on Patreon. You just need to join the $1 tier. As long as you pay something, you can force us to watch anything. Force us. Yeah.
As long as we can find it streaming somewhere,
of course,
and it's not.
As long as it's family friendly, so to speak.
Yeah, TV, not
exactly
adult TV.
Yeah. HBO adult, not
tops,
not Xvideos adult.
Exactly.
And no anime, if you know what I mean. That kind of anime.
Yeah.
No hentai. Anything else is good. Is go. Yeah. Is fine. Yeah, so patreon.com/don'tmakeascenes. Check that out. But for now, I think that's it. So yeah, we'll see you later this week for our second Halloween Spooktacular episode, where we're going to talk about Hell House LLC, which is, of course, the spoilercast. And then on Patreon, we're going to do the sequels to that. But as far as TVcast goes, that's it for now.
So we'll see when we get back on that.
Next time. Bye.
Bye.